The human mind is an impregnable fortress. No man can disturb it unless it allows itself to be. These words, uttered nearly 2 millennia ago by Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, echo with surprising relevance in our modern world. Today we'll dive deep into Stoic philosophy, unraveling the secrets of mental strength that allowed Marcus Aurelius not only to govern a vast empire, but also to maintain admirable mental clarity amidst chaos. What can we learn from this ancient sage to fortify our minds in the turbulent 21st century? Prepare yourself for a transformative journey through time and the human mind. We'll explore how our thoughts shape our reality, how we can develop an unshakable mindset, and how even adversity can become our greatest ally. You'll discover the power of self-control, learn to see beyond immediate circumstances, and ultimately build a resilience that will withstand the test of time. As we progress, you might wonder, how can a Roman emperor from the 2nd century teach us to navigate the challenges of the modern world? The answer to this question may surprise you and perhaps fundamentally change how you view the world and yourself. Our thoughts are the most powerful force at our disposal. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply, stating, "The life of a man is what his thoughts make of it." This seemingly simple idea carries with it revolutionary potential for our existence. Imagine for a moment that you're stuck in traffic. Frustration begins to build, your blood pressure rises, and you feel stress taking over. Now pause. Realize that it's not the traffic itself causing your suffering, but your thoughts about it. This is the essence of the power of thoughts in Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that it's not external events that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This perspective offers us extraordinary freedom, but how can we apply this in our daily lives? The key lies in the constant practice of awareness of our thoughts. Start by observing your mental reactions to everyday events. When something challenging happens, pause and question, is it really as terrible as I'm making it out to be? By doing this, you'll start to notice patterns in your thoughts. Perhaps you have a tendency to exaggerate minor situations or constantly compare yourself to others. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to changing them. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength comes from understanding that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we have absolute control over how we interpret and respond to these events. Practice reinterpreting challenging situations. Instead of seeing a problem as an insurmountable obstacle, try to view it as an opportunity for growth. This shift in perspective not only alleviates immediate suffering, but also opens doors for creative solutions and personal growth. Remember, your thoughts are seeds. What you plant in your mind today will determine tomorrow's harvest. Cultivate thoughts of strength, resilience, and possibility, and you'll see your life flourish in ways you might never have imagined possible. As we move forward, you might wonder, if our thoughts are so powerful, why do we often feel at the mercy of our emotions and circumstances? The answer to this question leads us to the next level of our exploration, the Stoic mindset. The Stoic mindset, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, is a mental fortress built on the foundations of reason, acceptance, and focus on what's under our control. This approach to life not only protects us from emotional storms, but also empowers us to act with clarity and purpose in any situation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This statement encapsulates the essence of the Stoic mindset. But what does this mean in practice? First, the Stoic mindset teaches us to accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but rather an active acceptance that frees us from useless frustration and allows us to focus our energy on what we can change. Imagine you've lost an important business opportunity. The common reaction would be to lament, blame yourself or others. The Stoic mindset, on the other hand, would encourage us to accept the fact, analyze what we can learn from the experience, and focus on how we can improve in the future. Another crucial aspect of the Stoic mindset is focusing on what's under our control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, don't worry about things beyond your power. This principle frees us from anxiety about what we can't change and directs our energy towards effective actions. Consider the anxiety many feel about the future. The Stoic mindset teaches us to recognize that while we can't control all future events, we can control our actions in the present. By focusing on what we can do now, we reduce anxiety and increase our effectiveness. The Stoic mindset also emphasizes the importance of virtue and character. Marcus Aurelius believed that true happiness comes from living according to ethical principles, not from seeking external pleasures or avoiding discomfort. He wrote, "Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by." Cultivating this mindset requires constant practice. Start each day by reflecting on your values and how you can live them regardless of circumstances. When facing challenges, pause and ask yourself, what's under my control in this situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my principles? The Stoic mindset doesn't promise a life without difficulties, but it offers a way to navigate these difficulties with grace and purpose. It teaches us to find peace, not in the absence of problems, but in our ability to deal with them. As we internalize this mindset, we begin to see the world differently. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to look like challenges to be overcome. And this is where we come to an intriguing question. What if adversity, instead of being something to be avoided, was actually a disguised opportunity? Adversity is a constant in human life. No one escapes it, not even Roman emperors. Marcus Aurelius, in his position of power, faced wars, betrayals, and even a pandemic. However, his approach to adversity wasn't one of lamentation or despair, but of opportunity and growth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This revolutionary perspective transforms our relationship with the challenges we face. But how can we adopt this mindset in our own lives? First, we must understand that adversity is inevitable. Accepting this frees us from the illusion that life should always be easy and comfortable. Once we accept challenges as a natural part of life, we can begin to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Consider, for example, an athlete. The weight he lifts in the gym isn't his enemy, but the very means by which he becomes stronger. Similarly, the challenges we face in life are the means by which we develop our mental and emotional strength. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to see each obstacle as a teacher. He wrote, "Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." In other words, even when we can't control the outcome, we can always control our response. But how can we apply this practically? Start by changing your internal language. When facing a challenge, instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What is this teaching me? How can I grow through this?" Imagine you've lost your job. The instinctive reaction might be fear and despair, but what if you saw this as an opportunity for reassessment? Perhaps it's a chance to pursue a long-neglected passion or to develop new skills that will make you more valuable in the job market. Adversity also offers us the opportunity to practice virtues such as patience, courage, and resilience. Each challenge is a test of character, a chance to prove to ourselves what we're capable of. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Moreover, adversity forces us to be creative and adaptable. When things are going well, we tend to become complacent. But when we face obstacles, we're forced to think differently, to find new solutions. It's in these moments that we often make our most significant discoveries. Remember, adversity isn't the end of the road, but a curve in the path. It's an opportunity to redefine your trajectory, to discover strengths you didn't know you had, to emerge wiser and more resilient. As we begin to see adversity as an opportunity, an intriguing question arises. If we can transform obstacles into paths for growth, What other aspects of our lives can we transform through willpower and discipline? Self-discipline and self-control are the cornerstones of Stoic philosophy and were fundamental to Marcus Aurelius's success as both emperor and philosopher. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But what does it really mean to have this power over our mind? And how can we cultivate it? Self-discipline in the Stoic view isn't about repression or denial. It's about alignment, aligning our actions with our values and long-term goals. It's the ability to do what we know we should do, even when we don't feel motivated in the moment. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of the vast Roman Empire, would wake before dawn to practice his philosophy and write. He understood that true freedom comes from mastery of oneself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he wrote. But how can we develop this self-discipline in our own lives? It starts with small, consistent actions. Establish a morning routine and stick to it religiously. Start with something simple, like waking up 30 minutes earlier to meditate or exercise. As you fulfill these small commitments to yourself, your self-discipline grows. Self-control, on the other hand, is the ability to regulate our emotions and impulses. The Stoics believed that our emotions are the result of our judgments about events, not the events themselves. Therefore, by controlling our judgments, we can control our emotions. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You always become what you think you are." If we constantly tell ourselves we're victims of circumstances, that's what we'll become. But if we cultivate thoughts of strength and resilience, that's what will manifest in our lives. A powerful technique for developing self-control is what I call the Stoic pause. When you feel emotionally overwhelmed, take a pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this reaction aligned with my values? Is it under my control? How can I respond in a way that would make me proud? Another valuable practice is what the Stoics called premeditation of evils. This involves visualizing potential challenges in advance and how you would face them with calm and rationality. It's not about pessimism, but mental preparation. Self-discipline and self-control also extend to our interactions with others. Marcus Aurelius advises us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This requires tremendous self-control, the ability not to react with anger or resentment, even when provoked. Remember, self-discipline and self-control are like muscles. The more we exercise them, the stronger they become. Start with small challenges and gradually increase the difficulty. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and learn from your failures. As you develop these skills, you'll begin to notice a profound change in your life. Situations that used to leave you anxious or irritated now become opportunities to practice self-control. Tasks you used to procrastinate on are now approached with determination. But here an intriguing question arises. If we can control our minds and actions with such precision, how can we use this power to shape not just our present, but also our future? How can we develop a vision that transcends our immediate circumstances? Developing a vision that transcends our immediate circumstances is a crucial skill that Marcus Aurelius mastered and that we can learn from him. As Emperor of Rome, he faced daily challenges that could easily have consumed him. However, he maintained a broader perspective, focusing not just on the immediate, but on the eternal. "Look beneath the surface, let not the several quality of a thing nor its worth escape thee," wrote Marcus Aurelius. This ability to see beyond the surface, to understand the deeper truths behind events, is what allows us to develop a truly transformative vision. But how can we cultivate this vision in our own lives? It starts with practicing cosmic perspective. The Stoics often reminded themselves of their smallness in the vast universe. This wasn't to feel insignificant, but to put their problems in perspective. Imagine looking at Earth from space. Suddenly the worries that seemed so big, that argument at work, that overdue bill, seem tiny compared to the vastness of the cosmos. This perspective frees us to focus on what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Soon you will have forgotten all things. Soon all things will have forgotten you." This isn't a call to nihilism, but a reminder to focus on what's truly important: our character, our actions, the impact we have on others. Developing a vision beyond circumstances also involves practicing what the Stoics called amor fati, love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens, not just with resignation, but with enthusiasm. It's seeing every event, even seemingly negative ones, as necessary for our growth and development. Imagine you've lost an important opportunity. Instead of lamenting, the Stoic vision encourages us to ask, how can this serve me? What opportunities might this loss open up? This shift in perspective transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Another powerful technique is visualization. Spend time every day visualizing your ideal self, not just in terms of external achievements, but in terms of character. How would you react to challenges with grace and wisdom? How would you treat others with compassion and justice? By consistently visualizing this ideal self, you begin to move towards it. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By cultivating elevated thoughts, focused on the greater good and the broader perspective, we naturally begin to live in a more noble and meaningful way. This vision beyond circumstances also allows us to see the interconnections in all things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All things are implicated with one another and the bond is holy, and there is hardly anything unconnected with any other thing." By recognizing our connection to all of humanity and the cosmos, our actions gain a new level of meaning and purpose. As we develop this expanded vision, we begin to see opportunities where we once saw only obstacles. We begin to act not just for self-interest, but for the greater good. Our decisions become wiser, our actions more impactful. But here an intriguing question arises. If we can develop such an expansive and powerful vision, how can we ensure that this vision withstands the inevitable challenges and setbacks of life? How can we build a resilience that allows us to maintain this elevated perspective no matter what happens? Resilience, the ability to recover and even thrive in the face of adversity, is perhaps the most valuable lesson we can learn from Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics. In a world of constant change and unpredictable challenges, resilience isn't just a virtue, it's a necessity. Marcus Aurelius, facing wars, betrayals, and even a pandemic, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This inner strength, this ability to maintain calm and clarity amidst chaos, is the essence of resilience. But how can we cultivate this resilience in our own lives? It starts with acceptance. The Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot change, to focus our energy on what's under our control. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but an active acceptance that frees us to act effectively. Imagine you've lost your job. Resilience isn't about denying the reality of the situation, but in accepting what happened and focusing on your response. How can you use this time to develop new skills? What opportunities might this change open up? Another crucial practice for building resilience is what the Stoics called premeditation of evils. This involves visualizing potential challenges in advance and how you would face them with calm and rationality. It's not about pessimism, but mental preparation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have seen that before. Now you see it again. Remember that very soon you will be no one, and nowhere, nor will any of the things exist that you now see, nor any of those who are now living. All things are born to change and to perish and disappear." This perspective helps us maintain calm in the face of challenges, knowing that they too shall pass. Gratitude is another powerful tool for building resilience. The Stoics regularly practiced gratitude, not just for the good things in their lives, but even for challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." Practicing gratitude daily, even for the smallest things, helps us maintain a positive perspective even in difficult times. This doesn't mean denying suffering, but recognizing that even in the most challenging circumstances, there's always something to be grateful for. Resilience is also built through self-knowledge. Marcus Aurelius spent years examining his own thoughts and motivations. By deeply understanding who we are, our values and purposes, we become more capable of maintaining our balance in turbulent times. Another valuable practice is what we might call Stoic detachment. This involves recognizing that everything in this life is temporary, our possessions, our status, even our relationships. By detaching ourselves from what is transient, we become more resilient to the inevitable losses of life. Finally, resilience is strengthened through virtuous action. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "What is good for the hive is good for the bee." By acting in accordance with our highest values, not just for our own benefit, but for the greater good, we find a sense of purpose that sustains us through difficult times. As we cultivate these practices, acceptance, mental preparation, gratitude, self-knowledge, detachment, and virtuous action, our resilience grows. We begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. We develop an inner strength that allows us to face any storm with grace and dignity. Marcus Aurelius left us with a final question to reflect on. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. How will you use this power to build your own resilience and create a life of meaning and purpose, no matter what challenges you face? The lessons of Marcus Aurelius on mental strength, stoicism, and resilience are as relevant today as they were nearly 2,000 years ago. As we incorporate these practices into our lives, we not only become stronger and more resilient, but also wiser and more compassionate. Remember, the journey to mental strength and resilience is ongoing. Each day offers new opportunities to practice, grow, and become the best version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength,